today we are going to visit two very unique bridges here in South Carolina. I won't go into it just yet. We'll see them as we get there. I'll give you two hints though. One is the oldest, the other is the last. So
don't forget to introduce our co-stars today.
Oh yes, okay. We brought along our co-stars today. This here is BB. Say hi, BB. This here is Zeusy. Hi, Zeusy. Say hi. And that is Queen Elizabeth right there. The first bridge we are visiting today is the Poinsett Bridge, and it is in here at Traveler's Rest is where I've read that it is, but then I also read that the address is actually Landrum, South Carolina, so I'm not 100% sure which it is, but this is allegedly or believed to be the oldest bridge in South Carolina. It's a 130-foot span. It is a stone bridge. I'll walk across it right here. And below it is a stream, or it's a little creek. I think it's called Little Gap Creek. And what is Little Gap Creek is traveling through is an arch. It's a Gothic arch. It stands 14 feet high. And we'll get down there in just a second. Let's see if we can get an angle of it from here. Yeah, you can kind of see it from there. Okay, I'm on the other side of the bridge now. Couldn't really get a great angle of the arc, or the arch rather, the arch from that side. So I am going to get a better angle of it from here. Let's turn this thing around here. See a nice Little Gap Creek coming down this little cascading waterfall type thing here. And then as that water travels down the rocks, it heads towards the bridge. And there is the arch. This bridge was named after Joel Poinsett. Mr. Poinsett was an early resident of Greenville, and also he was an ambassador to Mexico. Interestingly, he traveled to and from the United States to Mexico, and he was also an avid amateur botanist. And during one of his travels to Mexico, he found a flower that he really liked. It was called the Flor de Noche Bueno. And he had that flower brought back to the United States, and when it got here, it was dubbed poinsettia. So if you ever have had a poinsettia around Christmas time, that flower was brought to the United States by Joel Poinsett, who was the namesake for this bridge. The last time I was here, the water wasn't so high, and you were able to actually walk all the way through. So yeah, it keeps on going down through this nice little stream. It's a pretty little stream. This kind of cascades. None of this is any dirt. It's all like rock. So it's just going along this rock here. down the way. There's a lot of people that believe that this bridge is haunted. There's lots of folklore that is behind this bridge. One of the stories is that, you know, some of the workers, or at least one of the workers anyway, died during the making of the bridge. And I guess per the folklore, in order to commemorate his death and also to save time and energy, they just built his body into the stonework here. So allegedly there is a body inside of this bridge. Another one of the stories, the legends, the ghost stories that goes along with this bridge is that there was a slave that was killed here. There's actually two different stories that I read, one of which was that a female slave was hung from the top of the bridge there down and died, obviously from the hanging. And then a second story that I heard was that a male slave was brought down here and was beheaded by his owner for whatever reason. It didn't really go into any reasons, but it said that he was beheaded. And so there's stories that the slave, either the man or the woman, I don't know, when it starts to get into these variants and stuff like that, and there's no documented, you know, there's no documentation that supports these stories, I start to think it's a bunch of BS, and it's just folklore, it's just stories. So who knows if it's true, you know, and maybe, but, you know, unless it was written down somewhere and it's documented someplace, I tend to believe it's probably not true. But that's the story of the slaves. And then another story too is that this was built on an Indian burial ground. So I guess they just they say that the disturbed Indians that were buried in their graves haunt this place. So you've got hauntings from not only a murdered slave, you've got hauntings from Indians from the Indian burial ground, and also haunted by the guy whose body is entombed inside the stonework of this bridge. They're all interesting stories, you know, and they add to, you know, kind of the legends and the stuff like that, and the mystery behind this bridge. But you know, it makes it a neat place. But I think what is most amazing about it is just the architecture. I think that arch is amazing. It's so cool looking. And in addition to that, the setting is just gorgeous. It's beautiful out here, especially with the stream headed down that way. So along with those ghost stories, you know, I've read several accounts of people coming out here. There's a lot of people that come out here late at night. You know, they do paranormal investigations and that sort of thing. There's people that report being touched. They report hearing screams and moans. When we pulled into the parking lot, there was a lady up there who said that she's been down here at night and said that she heard the sound of horses supposedly walking across the bridge, but she said it didn't sound like it was coming from the bridge. She said it sounded like it was coming from past the bridge, a ways back. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all that standard stuff you hear, you know, people having experiences and stuff, just seeing the noises. Another one is lights. People see lights flickering around and malfunctioning equipment when they come down here to do their investigations and that sort of thing. So this is kind of a popular spot for ghost hunters. If you're interested in that sort of paranormal activity and exploring that sort of thing, Poinsett Bridge is actually, it's a hotspot for that, allegedly. It's a hotspot for that, so come and check it out. And if you're not into that, come and check it out anyway, because it is so cool here. It's really cool. And the drive-in off of 25 is where we came. It's probably about a 6-7 mile drive off of there, but you're driving through farmland, and it's just a gorgeous view. So come and check out Poinsett Bridge for sure. So we're walking along this little trail that I'm guessing may have been the road that this bridge was connecting and getting over that creek. Supposedly, this bridge was built to connect Charleston, South Carolina, and Columbia, South Carolina, to North Carolina. And you know, the direction that we're heading, it makes sense because we are heading towards North Carolina, towards Asheville, North Carolina, and I believe that's where it was ending up, was in Asheville. This road has been here since since 1820, for a very long time, since this bridge was built.
Is that a snake?
What do you see?
A snake.
You see a snake? Where?
Right there.
Where? That's a worm, honey.
That's a snake.
That's a worm.
The worms don't move like that.
Well, snakes aren't all like shiny and... Yeah,
What's his head look like?
that's a worm. It's an earthworm.
A what?
An earthworm.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know
It's a
so.
baby copperhead.
You think everything is a snake or an alligator or a boar?
So we saw a snake.
You did not see a snake. You saw a worm.
What if you put it on your video? We'll let our customers decide.
Okay. You can do that. All right, let's see what this sign says here. Leaving Heritage Reserve. Entering private property. Yeah, I definitely don't want to enter private property. I think this just ends up back down the road. So we're trying to follow along this path to see if maybe there is, you know, more of a little hiking trail to go along. Since we hit that private property sign, like again, it was a fork, kind of a fork in the path. And then it took you down to the street. Then you follow along the street for, I don't know, maybe 30 yards or so. And then it heads right back in to, into the woods again. So we're gonna take a little walk up here and see if we can keep going. So we did end up finding a pretty nice little hiking trail that goes along here. This is a really nice trail, but it is a whole lot of up. And I don't mind going up. I think it's good. It's good for my heart. I like getting that, you know, the heart pumping. But for my dogs, they're getting kind of old. And one of them, she's got some joint problems. And so while she can handle this for a while, she can't handle it for long periods of time. So we'll probably just head up a little bit and then turn around. But check this out. Look at that. Almost like a cave. Look at that, goes down in there. That's like a cave down in there. Too small for me to wiggle through. And even if it was big enough for me to wiggle through, I would not wiggle through it. Yeah, she can get some water.
Should we let him go?
No.
I know.
Absolutely not.
He is dying to get in there. I wonder why. Come on, Juice. Whoever's in there is going to eat you.
Probably all kinds of spiders and nasty things in there, buddy. the way, if you like these adventures that we go on, and if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our channel. It would really help us out. And we enjoy making these videos, and we'd like to continue doing it. So like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and come along with us in our adventures. But one other fun fact about this place is that historians believe that Robert Mills, who was the same gentleman that actually designed the Washington Monument, was the same person that designed this bridge. That would be pretty cool if it was true, but again, you know, the way it reads is that historians believe that that's the case, but I don't know if they're able to actually confirm that. Coming back off the trail and onto the bridge. This bridge is 190 something years old. It's kind of cool the way the rocks are, or the stones are placed on here. They're kind of haphazard on the bottom, but then once you get over to the top, it's a lot smoother. I wonder if maybe at one point the ground level was here versus down here where it is today. See right there on that tree, they have a camera there keeping an eye on the people that are coming here probably at night. It says online that this place is open 24 hours. But where did you see that sign that said it was not? I guess up here at the top here, it indicates that coming here after dark is strictly prohibited. But I don't think that that's something that they really enforce. I don't want to suggest that you do, but I just happen to know that a lot of people come here at night to do their paranormal investigations. They're out here at midnight, 1 o'clock, you know, all hours of the night to investigate this. See if they see any ghouls and goblins dancing through the dancing through this arch here. I guess they couldn't wait for me. Well, this is the second bridge that we are visiting today. The first one was Poinsett Bridge that we already went to. That was the oldest known bridge left in South Carolina. And the second hint that I was going to give, or the hint that I gave for the second bridge was going to be, it was the last. So this here, it's pretty small, but this here is the last covered bridge in South Carolina. It's called Campbell's Covered Bridge. It looks like this one here was built in 1909. It's 38 feet long and 12 foot wide, and this spans over Beaver Dam Creek. That's Beaver Dam Creek back there. Sign here that says Campbell's Covered Bridge, bridge built in 1909, last extant covered bridge in South Carolina, built by Charles Irwin Willis, named after Alexander Lafayette Campbell, who owned and operated a grist mill here for many years. Measuring 35 feet long, 12 feet wide, is an excellent example of a four-span howe truss featuring diagonal timbers and vertical iron rods. Yeah, you can see the this looks like a sort of like a half lap type of joint where it's actually inset into the beams here. And then here's the vertical rods that they were talking about. These here. It's pretty cool. It's got a metal roof on it. This Campbell's Bridge, there's a little park that surrounds it. There's really not a lot of you know, other than what I've already said, there's really not a whole ton of history or anything like that surrounding it. I don't believe that there's any trailheads or anything coming off of this park, but it is kind of a neat little place. We'll take you over to, there's like picnic areas over there. I'll go over there and show that here in a minute, but you can come down here and take a look at this river that's coming this way. Zeus is starting to he's trying to take off on us. Anyway, this is Beaver Dam Creek. It comes along here. You know, just like the one at Poinsett Bridge. I mean, this is all, there's really not like a river bed or a creek bed. It's just rock. It just runs along this rock here. But as you can see, it just meanders down the way here and makes its way underneath this covered bridge right here. It's a very serene place, very quiet place, and it's really just out here in the middle of the country. We had to drive on some back roads to get here. The locals believe that the bridge was named after Lafayette Campbell, who at the time that this bridge was built actually owned 194 acres in the immediate area. On the way down to the covered bridge down here, there's a little platform that looks like it overlooks the creek, Beaver Dam Creek, I believe it's called. It's kind of a nice little picnic area right here. I wonder if this is maybe the foundation to the homestead. I wonder if that's what this is. Yeah, it looks like this this spot here was it wasn't the grist mill. It wasn't anything to do, I think, with the Campbell gentleman, but there was a home here that unfortunately perished in a fire, and these stone steps and stuff like that, that is the remnants of it. But it's kind of a neat little spot. Again, you know, there's a picnic table right there. You can stop and have a picnic. There's another picnic table here. And then these stone steps will bring you right down to the water here. Oh, yeah, here's the stream from underneath. Or the bridge, rather, from underneath. I'm sorry. Oh, you can just walk right along underneath this thing. Ooh. Let me take a little trip underneath, see what it looks like. Oh, that's a little slippery. Ooh, be careful there. Come and check out Campbell's Covered Bridge. Very neat little place. Great place to bring the kids. Have a picnic. Enjoy the day. Put your feet in the water. Let the dogs take a little swim. Another good thing about this this trip today is that both of these bridges are relatively close to each other. I want to say that Poinsett Bridge was somewhere between 20, maybe 20-ish, 25 at the most minutes away. So this is an easy way to make a day of coming up and checking these places out. Because they're so close. So and yeah, you get two kind of unique things in the same, you know, the same area. You get the oldest bridge in South Carolina and the last remaining covered bridge in South Carolina. So come and check it out. What did you think of our two bridges today?
I had a nice time. Being back here makes you feel like when they were saying about like walking in the path and seeing when people would come down to the creek and jump in the water and have picnics. Yeah. Like a simpler time.
Yeah, these areas, and especially this place. It does remind you of a much simpler time.
I mean, now who can afford to spend all day just hanging out at the creek with their family, you know?
Right.
Everybody's so busy working.
Really busy working. Yeah, so anyways, this was a really good time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah, both of us, we had a good time. And I know the dogs had a blast.
Everybody's
I know they're gonna go home, lay on their beds, and before you know it, they're gonna be having all kinds of dreams.
They're gonna be dreaming little doggy dreams, and their legs are gonna be paddling because they're gonna think they're still walking. So you say goodbye? Say goodbye, Jim?
Yep. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, see you next time.
We'll see you on the next one. Again, if you're not already, please consider subscribing, liking, and hitting that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye.